Okay. 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 Just
Very well,
wonderful.
thank you very much. Delighted that Margaret Ann is back. I'm sorry for her that her holiday's over.
Well, Okay. Paulo, I'm a little sorry it's over, but I
Very
think I'm going
well,
to
thank you very
start
much.
this show off with some
Delighted
interesting
that Margaret Ann
tidbits
is back. I'm
that
sorry
can
for her
wrap
that
right
her
into
holiday's
social
over.
listening. Um,
Go for it.
well,
Hey.
Go out to a resort and you go away on holidays, and so you either have a good time, you have a questionable time, or you have whatever time. And I was thinking about this on the flight home, going, what would I actually be saying about where I went? So I'm not going to bring any names or anything up, but I'll have to say maybe it's a good job I'm a little older, because I might have had more to say on social listening. So I refrained from doing anything online because of our topics today, and what has happened and transpired through these events is I learned how to take a deep breath and maybe not react quite as much as I would. Now, that's not saying I didn't have a good time, fun in the fun. You always do. I always do. I can always meet people, had a great time, but it's some of the things that happened there. What if, there was no beer? What if they ran out of eggs? What if the things that you thought you were promised weren't there? Your immediate reaction is to react. But I decided to hold back and think about where would I go? What would I say if I did react? In all fairness, how could I give the resort the proper due diligence to be able to reply appropriately? So on that note, it's here we are with social listening. You don't want an aggravated customer coming back from holidays complaining online, do you, Paulo?
Oh, well, I think you are already a very, 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 very kind person that refrained your darker instincts and allowed them the opportunity to align themselves to the modern necessities and therefore employing social listening to track what people that are not so restrained like you will have certainly said about the lack of eggs, beers, or what have you.
I thought you'd find that amusing to start.
I
So,
do actually.
and like I said, it doesn't matter. I always make good of a bad situation, but it was really resounding about what can happen. So for anybody that's tuning in, I'm Margaret Ann Davis. I am co-founder of Connect You, and I'm thrilled to be here with Paulo and Stefan every week on the Fireside Chat. So Stefan over there, he's taking care of our technology and has us streaming live on LinkedIn and YouTube, and everything that we do. And you see, if you're tuning in and you're going, oh, that's kind of cool. Wow, that sounds interesting. You should hop on and talk to us, because these weekly fireside chats are for Apollo, are for any business person out there that wants to get the message out. So we've chose to work with Paulo because he talks a lot about social listening. And this is really important with the more and more businesses going online every day. Do you know what people are saying, thinking about you? So Paulo is an expert in his field. He actually, I'm going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself this week and share with us, like, what makes you kind of that expert on social listening and doing it. What have you got in your background, Paulo?
Uh, Expert is a word that only other people can call yourself. I don't think that I can call myself an expert.
Okay,
So
I
I
can
thank
call you
you
an
very
expert.
much. You can. Therefore, you need to have the answer. Well, first and foremost, what is in my background? Ooh, Well, I'm half Italian, so most Italians have a quite an eclectic professional trajectory. Um, but I suppose my greatest trait is I'm a hard worker. I'm a researcher. I talk to many, many people. I listen to many, many people, and I bring to to the company that I represent uh, many, many requirements and enable them to implement them in the solution and grow and grow every day effectively. And that is the great thing of the modern area, where you can talk with people that are not just around you. You can listen to needs that you might not have, but many people have, and therefore you can anticipate. You can anticipate trends. You can anticipate problems. You can maintain yourself competitive, and the same is for all companies. In a nutshell, I've told you one of the advantages of social listening, and I think that goes also for professionals. And I did not mention my great spaghetti alla matriciana,
Still,
which for those who don't
Spaghetti
know,
alla matriciana.
who are new to the show, let's say weeks ago, I was challenged by a gentleman, a Canadian gentleman, to put online one of my a recipe, which is I decided to go for spaghetti alla matriciana, and it created quite some interest. And I'm still waiting to have a feedback of Margaret Han attend to it.
so on that note, I am so glad that Paulo's main thing that I love about him is he's into relationship building. So on that note, I know we're going to be friends for a long time, and I promise I am not putting a deadline on this. but
There you go.
I
Good.
will eventually make that, and I'm going to shock the heck out of him. I should do it for
Splendid.
a lunch show. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to get started now with each week. Presently, we're asking Paulo 3 questions to expand on. So, Paulo, we're going to go ahead and get started. Strategic
Okay.
social listening is often hailed as a game changer in decision-making processes, offering a window into the thoughts and sentiments of your audience. With that in mind, could you share your perspective on the pivotal stages of decision making where strategic social listening comes into play? So, at what stages of decision making would you use strategic social listening?
All right. When you started with the question, it sounded like one of those long questions that a political journalist posed to politicians. I got worried. Excellent, excellent. Yes. Um, so social listening is a versatile tool. And when I say tool, I mean a methodology that can be implemented in companies and be utilized to perform better. It can be utilized across many stages of decision making. You can use it in the research and planning phase, because it helps you understand market trends. It helps you conduct competitor analysis. Uh, when you are at the product development stage, it can assist you in generating ideas or even collecting feedback on queries that you might have on products that are similar and they are already on the market. At the stage of marketing and promotion, um, it will inform you on a real time how your content strategy is performing.
Mhm.
It helps you identify who are the efficient or effective influencers. even micro influencers, which most companies do not consider. At the customer engagement phase, it helps you real-time problem resolutions. As you were saying, imagine you are at the resort and you are having a fit because you ordered beer and eggs and there's no beer and eggs. And if you have a social listening manager and is monitoring the reputation, simply the keyword around the resort, and you post something, they will pick up on that and they can intervene to either placate you. Most likely, they won't be able to produce the eggs there and then if they don't have it, but at least they can offer you a discount and um, they can mitigate your fury. But that is a separate service. I would say that the important part, I mentioned the various stages of decision making. When you are researching, when you're planning, and therefore you make decisions on where to invest. There you go. You collect what is the sentiment from the audience around the sectors that you are involved. You collect the sentiment about the competitors that you have identified. When you are launching a product, you prepare to launch a product and you want to have some feedback, you collect sentiment around potentially, again, competitor products that might be similar, how they are perceived, what corrections you should make. And crucially, when you're promoting your service and your products, you constantly get feedback of the sentiment that revolves around the content, the post, and the ads that you're making. Social listening allows business to say aligned to customer sentiment and the market dynamics, and decision making should be influenced always by what the audience at large feels about the various queries that you are posing.
Okay. You're actually leading right into imagine the second point that we were going to talk about today
Oh,
was
good.
social listening in a go-to-market situation.
All right. Yeah. You know why I mentioned that particularly, apart from I had a conversation with a lady who used to work for a major platform.
Okay.
A major platform. And now she has gone into consulting and she had queries. We were talking about social listening. We were talking about alternatives of how companies collect insights. And therefore, she was explaining what were her thoughts. And then she asked me to provide some color on it. But what she was focusing on was actually something like that. How important it is for products how risky it is to products uh, for the go-to-market stage, and anything that can alleviate that concern and reduce the risk is certainly welcome. And that's why I think I agree with her where I say that social listening is crucial. It's a crucial tool in a go-to-market situation. What it does, it enables business to understand better the target audience. As I mentioned before, it gives you a clear idea of what are the market trends, and it gives you a clear information of where the competitors stand in the eye of the audience. Companies that at that stage should monitor conversations on all social media platforms, at least the social medias platforms that are used by their customer base. Um, Businesses can collect the sentiment. They can identify pain points. We mentioned this during some conversations. They can anticipate what is important for the public. What are what their audience needs? It can also monitor closely not only the audience, what the audience feels about the competitor, but also what the competitors are doing. I mentioned before, it can help you identify influencers, key advocates of products in the sector that you operate, and therefore connect with them and use their reach and their audience to promote your product effectively. I repeat what I said in the first question. It can help you optimizing the content creation from the get-go, given the fact that you get real-time information of how the content is received by the public. After the immediate first stage, you know that you have, so you launch the product and you are still in the early phase, you are able to engage with your audience at any point, real time, when there is the first feedback, and therefore make the necessary adjustments or engage proactively so to maintain a positive sentiment and therefore have an effective go-to-market operation.
Which is going to lead Imagine beautifully into the third. I think this is great. It's clarity. But which channels? So which channels do social listening tools collect data or information? Is it like just certain channels, certain social media? What's the diversity? How fast? How big does this expand?
Fast, it really depends on the amount of data that we are collecting. So how far back we are going. If we refer to social channels, potentially, I'm not going to identify, but potentially tools can go back as long as the social channels that they are tracking have existed. However, to bullet point where the information is collected is social media platforms. There is the potential out there to collect effectively from X, formerly known Twitter, Meta, LinkedIn, TikTok, but also blogs, forums, reviews websites, TripAdvisor, I think also Google reviews, websites across all feeds, Reddit, Quora. Technically, I can tell you there's very, very little limitations. It's just what is the need out there, and then it's a matter of creating. And then it's a commercial solution to be provided.
Okay, so look at how we did that today. It's great, to the point. So first we talked about the stages of decision making and about researching, planning, and investing. And I love how we actually ended up with, we can do this pretty well. The sky's the limit. But what if someone was interested in learning more about this?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'd like to add, which I just briefly touched, is companies. I mean, this is the outcome of many conversations that I had. Often target the audience that they know that is succeeding, without considering what is to come. And social media is a powerful um, channel of information to give you market trends. And that is why it's important to consider channels like TikTok, which are often um, were often not considered even from marketers, but certainly not yet considered by people that are doing research, because TikTok um, is used by the audience of people that are already consumers and certainly will be consumers. So the information that you are, the insights that you are able to collect there, it's going to be paramount for those who want to have an understanding of the trends that will um, the trends to come, and in sometimes um, because of how vocal you will be restrained, youngsters might be are vocal and ready to strike or what have you. They will that TikTok will be powerful, and I mean the platform. There's the quality of the tools out there are excellent. You can integrate the tools to use the features that main feature that each tool have, or or you can choose one according to what are your needs. Uh, as people understood, I am passionate about TikTok, given the fact that where we are, I am passionate about LinkedIn, which are certainly the two, probably along with Instagram, the main tool today and the main tool tomorrow. So I would say I would recommend for people to give special attention to those platforms. And if they want to know how to um, use them at their potential, I would be delighted to have a conversation.
Okay, great. Yeah, you know what? It's very interesting. So it's not, and also I think from previous conversations, it doesn't even matter actually which platform the business is using, because actually their information could be shared on any platform. So that they always have to consider, like, when you talk about TikTok and Instagram, I mean, I'm on them. I'm not huge on them yet. I learn, I like the videos, but it's interesting, the demographics of it, just thinking, yeah, well, you could be there, but we're the cross sharing, it just has me thinking, oh, I see we got a couple of questions coming in here. I better get to them. How much, here's a question for you from one of our viewers. How much must I budget in average to know what people are saying about my board, my brand and products online? How much must I budget on average to know what people are saying? So that could be a bit of a complex question.
Um, so we should speak first about we need to have a conversation. And why do we need to have a conversation? Because I or whoever that you choose to speak to, I hope maybe, um, need to understand what is the product or what is the service that revolves around your brand. According to that, according to the sector that you operate, we can decide what is the range of time that is from which you want to collect information. Most social listening platforms establish their prices according to the amount of data points you want to collect. If you want to collect data from all channels for a range that goes back a year, it's going to be a price. But you're going to have effectively history. If you want to have real-time insights and you want to measure the sentiment for the last month and start one channel at a time, the price is certainly going to be competitive and acceptable for any mid-sized company.
Okay. And that makes sense. So it depends on the number of channels, the data you want to expel. There's a lot of variables. So it's really important if you're
Absolutely.
listening that you need to have this conversation with Paulo. He's very genuine. He just wants to answer questions. So it's a great first way to start. And I imagine in the future, what we're going to do is have some closed sessions where we'll just do a half-hour session where people can pop in and ask those questions privately. One-on-one would be a good idea. For now, though, also we you can reach out to Paulo anytime. I'll do one more question, and then we're going to be wrapping it up. So let's see. How does my brand? Okay, is it complicated to observe how my brand's online engagement compare to my competitors?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
How is it complicated? Okay, yeah, I guess in the platform, is it complicated to see how my brand's online engagement compare to my competitors?
No, no. But in this case, I can talk only about my platform. It's
Right.
specifically made every the user interface, every feature. It's made. It's designed with the idea of people saving time in collecting the information and making decisions.
Okay.
So it's not complicated at all. It's just a matter of going through a very brief onboarding training period and effectively the information that the queries that you're going to input to the platform will generate um, an easily designed interface where you will see A next to B.
So it is actually not that complicated that anybody could use this platform. You don't have to be technologically inclined. You could learn how to use it.
No, we have a mission of making it the platform um, easy to use for a mid-sized company that
Okay.
might not employ a social listening expert.
Okay.
And there are features which enables us to do so, including suggestions on a summary of human summary of all the data collected, including recommended first phase strategy to improve the status of the current sentiment. But certainly humans are necessary to decide the queries that you want to input to the company and then to action the information that the tool provides.
Well done. So on
Thank
that
you.
note, very good. I love it. You're really good. Yeah, no, you're very yes. You've supplied us with the information that we need in a mannerly and organized time. I'm going to say kudos to everybody
Within the
on this.
goal that you set me.
For anybody watching this call and going, what are they going on about? One of our missions, actually, when we work together in these sessions, I mean, first of all, they're fun, but they're also a learning experience. So we've had this little mission of the half hour, and on the timer, we are at 29 minutes, 10 seconds. Look at that, guys.
Legend.
So, on that note, Stefan, do you have anything to add? You have 30 seconds. Yeah.
That's true.
Right. Okay, thank you, Stefan. That's good. Some great insight. So we hope through these sessions that you're learning a little bit more about social listening. Again, it's reach out to us or Paulo Bargolini. He can definitely guide us on the way to learning more. If you have any questions about implementing this into your business, please don't hesitate to reach out. We will be back next Thursday at 12:30 for our weekly fireside chat. And on that note, today, Paulo, I'm going to throw it back to you to end this call. Leave leave this audience with I don't know, a great point or three points of takeaway from this call.
Well, use the people you're targeting to tell you what you need to do to improve your brand, your product service, your customer support. You do that by listening to them, and you can employ an entire population and train them, or you use a tool and you use your current staff to implement the information and improve as a company.
I love it. Thank you so much, Paulo. Until next time, everybody stay connected, stay inspired, and we look forward to welcoming you again for another fireside chat. Thank you and have a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you.
Okay. There you go. Okay.